Oh my God. I'm so impatient to get started. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen right now. It's gonna happen. I'm so impatient. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm making a game. It's called The God Killer. I want to share it with you. I want to share that journey. That's what's happening right now. But primarily, I don't care about you. I care about this game. It's my mission. I am going to make it. I'm going to build it. I'm going to not just make it. That's not the point. That's not the point, to be in the process of creating it, to enjoy all the little steps along the way. No, the point is to finish it, to ship it, to be done with it, to have it exist in the world in a way that everyone can join in and try it out, see this expression of me, see it for yourselves. That is the goal. That is the goal. And let me fix a few things here. I'm going to start in with a demo, like I always do. Every single one of these videos, almost all of them, they start with a demo. So if you don't want to watch me write code and listen to me torment myself with different ideas, trying different ideas in my head and then discarding them, and saying things that are wrong and then a moment later correcting myself, if you don't want to listen to that stream of madness, just watch the demo. I'm going to show you my game. I'm going to show you what I did recently. I'm going to show you where it is today. That's what you're going to see. So let me go over to here, and I'm going to fix this here. So it is progress every day. Progress every day. It's not 86 days in a row. It's 87. This is day number 87, where I've done some form of work on the game, typically 2 to 3 hours every single day. When I got home, just 20 minutes ago, I microwaved myself a plate of spaghetti. And I sat down to eat it, and you know what? I was disgusted. I was disgusted with the idea that I had to wait to finish that little snack before I could begin on this, and so I said, screw it. I took 3 bites of the spaghetti, I stuck it back in the fridge, because I wanted to get going on this. I can come back to the spaghetti. I can come back. That's like a project I can always finish, no matter what state my mind is in. And right now, my mind is fresh. I don't want to waste that juice. It's fresh-ish. I did have 9 hours of regular work, and now I'm coming home like J.K. Rowling and finding just a tiny little bit of time to make progress on this. So what am I doing today? I am going to check that I can record WAV files inside of the game. There's a reason for doing that. I'll get to that. It's not a feature of the game, it's a feature of the game development. But as promised, I'm going to do a demo first. Here comes the demo. Hit the play button. This is a Unity game. It's written in C#. It's got all kinds of assets. Most of them I made. Textures, audio bits, models, 3D models. So far it's just all me. Maybe there's some third-party asset creators that help me unwittingly by putting their things up on the asset store, and then I went and grabbed it and used it and paid them money. They got paid. I didn't rip anybody off. That was the deal. I said, I give you $29 and I can use this beautiful model of hands that you've provided, that I'm going to name God. And you may not even agree with the point of views expressed in this game. You may not have wanted these 2 beautiful hands that you modeled to be used to blasphemously represent a deity with the same name as the one perhaps you worship. But that's what happens when you put your stuff out there for sale. It gets repurposed. And now those are the God hands. That's what they are. God hands. Okay, so what I did yesterday, it was a bit of an epiphany, a bit of a learning experience. And the rule is, don't ever name something a system until you know it's actually going to be a system. So I said in yesterday's session, I will make a subtitle system. Now what that does when you say that something's going to be a system is it just assumes it's going to be a large thing, and you start thinking of all the little levers and gears and how they all connect together to form something delightfully complex. But in fact, when I thought about it a little bit more, when I spoke it out a bit louder, played with the possibilities, I realized I could be working on a subtitle system for 12 to 20 hours. It did all the kind of nifty things I thought would be cool. Or I could write a subtitle feature in 2 hours, and it would work just like the ones I know work when I watch a foreign movie. And I got the basics of it in a couple of hours and change. And they are that I can, from any place in the code, call a singleton class instance and say set the subtitle text to some arbitrary text, and I can also set a color, and there'll be a black outline around it so that when I go out of a dark area into a light area, the color of the text, if it's light, will still show up just fine. So I'll go ahead and make a little trip up top just to show that. Okay. Here I am walking around in darkness. This is the first level of the game. It is missing some decorations. I took out the decorations accidentally along the way, but they are procedurally generated, so I can put them back again with barely any effort. Okay. So then the character emerges up top, and the subtitles, they're still extremely highly visible. Now, I do intend to have the actual color of the subtitle text be very light colored, so that that would prove my point a little bit better. Right now, the color of the subtitle text is in the medium range, even a little bit dark, so the outline's not quite needed. But I will make them kind of like RGB 200 plus on the light side for sure. Okay, so that's the demo. Now, what am I doing today? There is a lot of dialogue to go in this game, and it's going to be recorded dialogue, and it's going to be interactive dialogue. I have a background running a voiceover studio. I have a background writing interactive dialogue for games. And I want to beat a certain problem that is, I have a peculiar advantage to. The advantage I have is that I'm a generalist. I can write dialogue, I can record dialogue, I can do level design. I can direct actors and get good performances out of them. All these things I've done. I'm not saying I'm the best at any of those things, but I've got the indie advantage there, that I know how to do all those things with some kind of competence. So when you have this, I'll call it the auteur advantage, when you have this ability to be so specific in multiple areas, multiple disciplines, and to just say it's going to be this way, some possibilities open up. So I can put some audio and dialogue into this game, play with it inside the level, and have the ability to change in one session with one person the writing, the level design, and the performance. I can play with all of those things simultaneously. Now, usually what happens is you've got large teams. even a medium-sized team, you would split up those duties, and somebody would go off and write a script in that project plan. They'd go and they would write out all the dialogue that would appear in the game, and then, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not idiots. They would think about it, they would do reviews on it, they would say, well, let's shift this a little bit over here, let's take advantage of some interactive features over here. They would collaborate on that, but there would be deliveries from one specialist to another. And there would be sessions where you would check out the result, and then you would send little work orders, little tickets off to different people to adjust things. And the end result is either just a huge amount of work with all that extra communication, or less ambitious. No, that's not quite right. Less flexibly designed results. So what I'm going to do is make a little system where I can easily, I said system, but it should be a system in this case, where I can easily test and change the dialogue with stand-in recordings. I record directly in the game to see how it worked, to see how long the amount of time is while some audio plays, see if, you know, if the God character says something like, well, you need to further explore the southern chamber, and now I see, and then you're already in the southern chamber, then I know there's a problem that has to be corrected either by shortening the dialogue, making it really quick and punchy, or adjusting the level design if I think the effect of the dialogue is very important, so that it takes longer for the character to get down there. All these things I've got the auteur advantage on. I just have to lay the framework in place so that I can iterate fast. So that's the crux of today's session. One piece that's needed is recording WAV files inside of the game. So I'm gonna work on doing that with the next couple hours. All right, end of demo, end of saying what I'm gonna do, start of doing what I'm gonna do. Also, end of my manic energy that comes with explaining something, and start of a more contemplative mode, where I still talk a lot more than most people do while they're working, but at not such a energetic pace. Okay. So I thought I had seen earlier a way to do this. So let's see. Unity, record, audio to file in play mode. And I think I don't even have to say in play mode. I'd say record audio to file. Okay. So I have seen this, a pretty good explanation of this before. I'm just going to see if I can find the same little bit that started me off. I was sitting at the Starbucks, reading, researching. This is Savware. Take a little look at this thing. I'll even make the font larger so people can read it on a stream. Okay, so this is pretty nice. It's like a nice all-in-one file kind of thing. They're doing the RIF format. So the WAV file format is actually a format called RIF, and this is just code that's knowledgeable of how to write that file. This looks pretty good. What's the licensing? Subject to following restrictions. Okay. I'm good with that licensing. They're saying I need to not claim that I wrote this, which I will not do. And it's a little bit of a weird licensing here because it's source code. And he's saying I just need to not misrepresent the origin of that source code. I'm not going to distribute source code with this project, so there's no danger of that. If I change the source, it has to be plainly marked as a change that I made. But again, this is if I distributed the source code, which I'm not going to do. Okay, so this is usable by my reckoning. And it looks like a nicely written piece of code. I've even got it on record with this stream that I am using it. And I'm saying I didn't write it. I didn't write it. I'll see if I actually do end up using it, though. It's quite possible it doesn't suit my needs or something else is better. So let me just keep it clear in my head that I did not write it myself. I will start a new folder called third party. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Now, who wrote this? It was Calvin Rain from thedarktable.com. Good for him, man. Okay, let's see. Go through and look through the source. I gotta make sure I understand it. Okay, so this is public interface to save a file name. It's going to save an audio clip to a file. What's the warning it's complaining about? That's pretty easy. Like, complying to the letter of the law here. I changed it. Even though I'm actually, that's the spirit of the law. Okay. If there's a failure, okay, so he's saying there's no error handling. That's fine. You know what? This is code that will not go in the final build either. So this is if Unity editor. So I only want this code to be around inside editor builds. This is not shipping code. I mean, no offense meant. I've got no reason to ship it. It's an editor tool, or a plane within the editor tool. Okay, trim silence. I get that. I'm going over the samples. if the amplitude of the samples doesn't rise above a certain minimum at the beginning, they break and they say remove all the samples between 0 and this sample where it first went above a certain range. And they do the same thing at the end of the samples. That's fine. Makes perfect sense. Create a temporary clip. Okay, setting the data over there, returning the clip. Oh, and so that creates a trimmed version. This one here is using tactic sugar to call this first one with 3D is false and stream is false. Okay, this is like the more common use perhaps. Okay, trim silence. Here's even another one. Float min is only it gets passed. Okay, got it. So trim silence makes sense to me. Save. What are you doing? You're gonna fix up file name. It's a persistent data path. This one I might want to walk into and see where it's actually saving. It's gonna create a directory there. Okay, it's gonna call convert and write. I think this is probably the top level thing. Although it looks like you could also call trim silence on the clip before you save it. Okay. Convert and write. Okay, you're going to take the file stream, an audio clip, get the data. This is really cleanly written. This is a pleasure to look through, actually. Okay, so I believe here it's creating, convert and write. Take an audio clip, getting the data. I just thought he would have written the header first. Okay, back up. So there, okay, so he's writing, appears to be, like, first he writes the samples and then he writes the header. I wonder if he's seeking back to the beginning to write the header. Let's check that. Yep, he saw it back to the beginning. So that means that he had to seek. No, that part I don't get. That part I don't get. Get data. Just getting the samples from the audio clip here. Okay, converting the sample data. Scaling, basically he's finessing the sample data to get it into the exact same format that he wants to write to. So file stream write. Yeah, this part I don't get. So here I believe he's writing all of the data at the beginning of the file. And here he's writing the header. I don't know. It seems like it probably works. I think just by looking at sort of the scrupulousness of the code, I have a fair amount of trust for it. And I know if it will not work pretty easily, because this code of his will write that file and it will either play or it won't play. There's nothing dangerous to be missed about this code. I can simply try it and see that it works. I don't know why I didn't close the file. the end. He's got a little comment out there. That doesn't quite make sense to me, but maybe he was thinking like, it would close on its own. I don't know. There's probably a little story there. Oh, okay. Here it is. Okay, file stream create empty. Is that called up above? Yeah, here it is. Okay. So here's what he does. He creates an empty file and he writes the initial bytes where the header will be, and they're just empty. They're empty zeros, empty bytes, which it'll still end up being 0 for the header size. So he's not ready to write the header yet because he hasn't written all the sample data which would inform what will get put into the header. That's just the RIF format. The header is going to say things like what to expect in the rest of the file, but he needs to write the rest of the file in order to learn that. So how does that get passed over? File stream length. Oh, he's using the length of the file. That's kind of a sneaky way to do it, but it makes sense. So he's going to write one RIF chunk. Okay, so that's a little dubious. That's a little dubious. You're going to write one single chunk. So that kind of defeats the purpose of chunking. Although I might have like an old-fashioned bias here. It's like a modern system, it's not that big a deal to read in big, giant, gushing megabytes of chunks. Whereas like when I first like dipped into RIF, you know, you'd want something measured in K in your chunks. So it's probably fine. And also, this is not the system that I want to write here is not for producing the final audio. It's for producing placeholder audio. So placeholder audio that I create while inside of the game is destined to be replaced with audio that comes from a professional recording studio. So the placeholder audio is me sitting in front of my computer with a pretty okay mic, but definitely a bad recording environment. And I'm not even necessarily the actor that's going to be recording the final audio. I might record none of the final audio. So this code passes my inspection. It's good fucking code. Calvin, give yourself a pat on the back. Well, wait a minute. I mean, we'll test it out and play it, but just stylistically, I'm pretty happy with it, and it looks like Calvin's thought shit through. All right, so that was me not writing any code, just coming to terms with somebody else's code, and this is Sav, and I'll give it its own namespace. I'm gonna call it Calvin Rain. Lest his accomplishments be forgotten. They won't be forgotten, because every time I say using Calvin Rain, I'll realize that I depended upon him to put this code together. Okay. Okay, now back to this a little bit. Okay, I just want to do a quick test of it. I don't want to think about exactly how to hook it in the permanent way. I just want to see, does it work? Does it work? Does it work for me? So, let's get rid of this. Let's do it this way. Do that. Okay. Use spacebar to toggle. Also, I want to make sure I don't forget this is here. To do, delete. Okay, so if audio clip, if recording equals null, then I want to start a new recording. Say recording equals this. Okay, otherwise, let us save it. Save it. This is where I get to invoke the sacred name of, let's see, I do a using statement up at the top, that'll be better. Or maybe not, since it's just temporary code. Let's see, can I do this? Save WAV. Save. There. Wouldn't it be cool if this just worked right away? That would make me feel like I had more luck than I deserved. That would make me feel blessed. Cool. Alright, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. also read an article on how to optimize my builds. I'm not going to probably get to that until Friday. But basically what I'd like to do is make it so that it doesn't build all of the third-party source every time I change some other source that has nothing to do with it. The third-party source should just, okay, never mind. Okay, it is starting the recording. See if this next line, yeah, that's fine too. Okay, test, testing the recording. Is it too much to hope that it would continue recording and that I could then hit the space bar again and have it save? I'm just even going to hit play and let Calvin's code do its job. Let me see what the end result of that is. Okay. Did I crash the game? No. Okay. Let's exit out of that. Oh, I know one thing I wanted to know, which was where did I end up putting that audio? Well, I guess that answers my question. Okay. That answers my question. I feel like I might be having like some of the directories hidden from me. Let's see, am I in the right place here? C-Space Labs. Are you there? Seems like the right kind of place. Alright. Sometimes it's just easier. Do that. Okay. Well, that makes more sense. It didn't actually create the directory. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta escape that. Okay, so it's there. Just how do I get to that in the Finder? Okay, that might be the way to do it. Okay, so what's the difference between the place I went to and where they sent me to? I don't know. But I'm gonna just drag this off over here so I don't have to think about it that much in the future. And let's okay. So yeah, that's fine too. Okay. Test. Testing, record. So that seemed to work extremely well. Let me see what happens if I don't have the breakpoint set in, if it actually stops and starts where I think it will. So I haven't hit the spacebar yet, but I'm going to hit the spacebar and immediately talk right after I hit it. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Okay. I had the friggin' breakpoint set, so it was a bad test. Test number 2. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Okay, and it saved it pretty much instantly. At least the console log message was fast. As it should be. I mean, I'm not real impressed by that. I'm just kind of glad that it didn't take up a lot of time. Okay. Yeah, that's fine too. Okay. Testing. Yeah, it did not seem to overwrite the existing file. It could be cached in some way. Let me try it again. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, open with VLC. Yeah, that's fine too. Okay. Testing, record. Yeah, that's fine too. That's definitely okay. The first. Testing, record. Yeah, that's fine too. Okay. Test. 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 God, shut up. So that, it didn't overwrite the existing file. And I do want it to have that capability. So what actually happened there? Let's go to create empty. Probably it failed. Oh, what's this? Okay, I can come back to that. Create empty. It's a new file stream, file mode create. There's probably a different flag to pass into that. I'm guessing that that line of code is failing. So that is not Unity specific. I believe that is C#. I go up on this. That was a good answer. That worked like a charm. Okay. C# file stream create. And other people are asking what I'm going to ask. Overwrite. It's just going to be a flag you pass in. It's not, I don't need to go look at a whole Stack Overflow thing, I don't think. File options. Do I still have it running? If I do, yeah, I do. I should turn it off. Yeah. Really? No, I don't need the file options. No. That looks like the right thing. It just doesn't seem like the link I went to had the right stuff in it. There we go. No. Okay, I guess I do want the... I guess I do want to hear from Stack Overflow. file mode. Okay, so that should already work. Okay, I don't know what's going on then. Let's set a breakpoint. See if I get there. So it kind of looks like it should work, but it doesn't. The other thing I liked about Calvin's code, it's not needlessly refactored, it's just all in one file. It's kind of like the best thing is like when you get one file, it's not too long, it just does everything you need. Okay. Test number 3. So that worked. It's showing the path I expected. It's going to write some bytes. Okay. So I'm just going to see if either of these fails. Success. Success. File stream. Length 882K. I could fix this pretty easily. I could just do a try catch and return false. That would be pretty easy. I do wonder about this file stream close thing at the end, if I'm not having some problem with that. Okay, so there's no error shown there. So it's still showing a last updated time of 6:25 p.m. So just as another test, Oh, you know what else I should try? I know what I should try. Let me I'm gonna go copy and paste the path into Finder again and see if I'm still going to the same place. So go to folder, here's what I did. So I renamed this up here to make it more easy for me to distinguish it. But that also renamed the folder. I thought it was just a label over here. So this is almost certainly going to be the newer audio. Test number 3. Okay, there is a thing where it keeps recording. So this was missing from the original code, but I think we want, I mean, it makes sense, right? Microphone, stop. Why is there not a stop? End, I guess. Device name. No? So, was that first param, is that a device name? Yes, it is. So it must be like default. Loop, false. Length in seconds. That's something I don't like. Why would I specify length in seconds? I better read about microphone start. I guess before I do that, let's stop the player since it eats up a lot of CPU. Okay. Well, that's kind of crazy. Maybe it's like trying to avoid allocating more memory as the microphone continues to record, because it's designed as an in-memory only recording, and it wants you to put some kind of limit to it. That would be okay. That's reasonable. I don't mind that. This isn't bound to any kind of persistent storage initially. Okay, all good. I would like to see device name of the device. Yep, just like I thought. So, we can add the end here. Let me try it again. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Interesting. So if I okay, so it did seem to give me like a full 10 seconds, but I'm not sure if it kept recording or if it stopped recording, so I'm going to do another test. Record this, but not this. Record this. Okay, got it. So now it's time to make use of another function that Calvin Reen has delivered unto us. Want to take recording and do strip the silence, trim it off. Okay, recording. And it's hard to say what the minimum should be. I don't know what the range is. Is it going from 0 to 100%? I'm going to start with 0.1. Say it's 10%. Let's see what that does. In fact, because this might be something I need to tweak a fair amount, let's do public float trim level. So I won't have to do multiple build recompiles to test different values. Equals 0.1f. What? Oh. All right. So when I record something, it could do some different things. Here's my trim level here, so I can tweak with it. Okay. Test. 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 Okay, so it trimmed nothing, so I'm going to go up pretty high. I'm going to make an assumption that the samples are a number between 0 and 256. So I'll try 128. You gotta clip something. Let's see what it gave me. You gotta clip something. I don't think it's clipping anything at all. Oh, you know what? I forgot to use the public value. The interesting thing about this recording is that it could be used to create a looping sample buffer. So it's got a loop value here. So it seems pretty well suited to do analysis on it and figure out things from the audio. Could put some speech recognition code in there. These are possible things. Not for my game. That's not part of it, but I like knowing about that possibility. Trim test 1. Actually, I know that one's going to be garbage because that's just the same setting. Let's go up to the second one. Trimming at 128, 128. Okay. I don't know if that... I saw like an extra error message here. Non-negative number required. Some kind of like a looping problem. I can go and look at his code too. That might help me. 64. Yeah, it's still doing this non-negative number required. All right, let me try 0.5. 0.5. Also, I might have hosed some kind of state inside of there. It just doesn't seem like I'm supplying parameters like it wanted. Trim test 1. Yeah, it seems kind of hosed. Well, no, it might not be hosed. It might be just my param I gave it is out of range. I'll go back to 0.1. Hey. Hey. Okay, I was... Hey. That's not good trimming. Alright, so 0.1 does nothing. 0.5. 0.5. Okay, it's doing that non-negative number stuff. me see which line it is complaining about that on. Three. Comes down to here. It's waiting to find any sample value above the minimum value. You know what? This is not going to be that hard to figure out. I just got to set my breakpoint in here and just try it. Just try it. And I can also look at the sample data to see what's actually there. Let's clear this. This will... Oh. I'll take a look at the samples. There's a bunch of them. So they're in a range. It's pretty friggin' small here. I think this is actually representing silence. So one thing I would expect is that none of these samples, maybe, I don't know, let me see, I'm not sure what to expect, if any of these samples go over that 0.5 or not, I'm not sure. Let me set the breakpoint down here. First one won't. Oh, what? Set that. Samples count. What do you think you're doing? I didn't save. I didn't initiate any action other than just stepping. No, I didn't think I did a step. I just think it just started spinning on me. I know something initiated it, but I don't think it had to do with me. Let's just stop it. Okay. So I do feel like I spotted a bug in this thing already. So it's looking through the samples. It says go to the very beginning. But it's ending up at -1. I think it trims everything. I think that's the problem. Let me check this. like I was trying to do before. Test. Okay. So the question is, will it go through all of the samples? What's I? No, it got partway through. It got partway through. .5, huh? So potentially that could work. So that should remove the start. So I started with 441,000 samples, and I'm going to remove really? 0 to 0? The value of I changed on me. It was showing like maybe I missaw it. So then here it's going to go back the other direction from the end. Let's see where it gets to. If it gets to -1. Okay, here's where it should be doing something. So it went all the way to 10,799. I down here. Yeah. Okay. So that should work. Samples count. Okay. That should work. That all should work. Alright, let me see what it actually did. Test. No, it didn't actually, I don't know, that's weird. Keep seeing like slightly different things, or things that don't line up with each other. So I'm pretty sure that sometimes when it seeks back in the reverse direction, it gets all the way to -1 here, which causes that error that I saw. But also I saw what looked like it was going to strip out the beginning, but then I changed to 0. And then I thought I saw what looked like it actually reduced the size of the samples, and it returned that clip. Oh, I just thought of something that seems pretty important. What I want to do here is assign the returned clip to something else. Trimmed. Okay. This, I think, is important. So while I'm at it, I'm going to change this to greater than equals 0. I think that's more correct. I think also, if you set like that high enough, what should actually happen is the samples count go down to 0, so you can say if samples greater than 0. Well, I guess this check here will do that on its own. It will. Let me think about this. So suppose I passed in count of 0. Then it would start at -1. Okay, that works. Okay, I don't need an extra check there. No special casing for that. This will go by 0 to -1. Okay. So actually I would need a check here. This is to handle the case where you set the minimum too high, so that it just creates everything, or strips out everything. Alright, I'm willing to try that. Alright. Test 1. Okay, what will I be? Okay. It's going to strip out some part at the beginning. Okay, what? Okay, cool. It'll strip off some of the end. And let's just try that. Test 1. Perfecto. Test 1. Okay. Now I'm going to try Just a little bit of tweaking. A good thing to check on is when you start with F, because it's quiet. It starts out quiet, but you want to capture it. So I'll say, fairly certain that this will work. Fairly certain. See, I chopped off the beginning of the F. That means I need to have my minimum be smaller. Let's go by half. Funny how that works. Let me do one more. Funny how that works. Funny how that works. Okay, it's still kind of cutting off the beginning part. I'll go a little bit. Let's see if this isn't bad. That 0.01. Don't have to have it be super refined. Fa. Okay, I got it. That'll do it. 0.01. All right. So that was all I was setting out to do, but I've got a fair chunk of time left. So it'd be nice to get a little more done. Yeah. I help a dude out here. I'm going to complete his to-do for him. This stuff down here. Don't know if I'm gonna worry about that. That's not real important. Okay. So this was just to make sure that the feature would work, and it does. So now let me see how much I can just get put into a reusable class. Let me take this, copy it, and delete it. So I'm converting my temporary garbage code to a nice reusable class. My favorite kind of class, static class. A 10-second limit on it is actually pretty good for my purposes. Let's put some of this stuff in some constants. Okay, so I'll see. If I'm just using Calvin Ring. I'm just using them. I think that's pretty good right there. Um, that encapsulates it pretty well. And static. It is possible for different parts of the code to call it at the same time, but even then, I've got some checks in place. So if you try to start a recording while another one's in progress, it'll kind of abort the previous recording and start a new one. What if you stop after it's already stopped? Is that a big deal? I'll just do this, just to protect against multiple calls. Recording not equal null. This should make it pretty harmless to call stop even in the wrong way. Okay, so that's pretty good, I think. Am I actually using system? I don't think I am. Okay. So then, thinking about the way this would actually get used. I don't need to write this in a terribly general way. I can couple it to the way that I know that I'm going to use it. So I can make it a mono behavior. Which means it can't be static. Oh well. I mean, this is a bad thing to do. This is called private static. Start recording. The way I know that this is actually going to work is every time a subtitle is shown, that subtitle will be associated with a character, and file name will be generated from the name of the level, the character name, the first 3 words of the script or the line in the subtitle, and that might be it. That might be it. But anyway, so it'll be like a file name that is set by the subtitle. So static. Public static void set file name string file name. Okay. Then going to keep that idea of like starting and stopping recordings with the space bar. How to do that? Input. Get key up. Is that right? Yep. Okay. Let's do one more. Call it toggle recording. And I should know pretty quickly if this is going to work or not. Well, I mean, I know it'll work. I should know. Let me say it differently. I'll be able to see results with this pretty quickly. I won't have to add a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's just call this default. I just gotta save that and add it as a component of my editor object. Oh, it's gotta build. Oh God, it's terrible looking. I don't want to add any more stuff in here. Let's just create this under a new game object. Okay, rename that. Okay. And this is specific to dialogue, so I could add the logic to it for concatenating. No, just one thing at a time. I don't want to keep adding stuff. I gotta test what I've got. Okay, so let's try that to start. Okay. Let's make a recording. First time. Oh wait, that was doing GK audio. That seems wrong. Did I not save everything here? Looks like I didn't save everything. There's more than one problem there. Okay. Let's undo that. Okay, I forgot to save that. Test one. I don't think that worked. Test one, test one. I kind of expected that to do something. I don't think it did. Test one. Test two. I don't think it did anything. Nope. So let's delete that. Alright. So what's the deal there? I've got a mono behavior. Is it this Unity editor thing? I don't think so. I think it'll be in there. Do I need a start to go along with this? I don't think so. I don't think that's right. Fair. Yeah, I don't think that's right at all. These things are bugging me too. I researched them online. People don't have an explanation for these errors. And the call stack is not any of my code. Something related to serialization. But anyways, that doesn't really have to do with whatever's causing an issue here. So let us try that. No, it's not calling update. It's not calling update. Don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Dialogue recorder. I'll try adding in the start too. I don't think that should ever matter, but maybe it does. I'd also like to see if this gets called. Why did I close the Finder window? That was dumb. Okay, started was called. Update's not called. What? 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 I mean, it shouldn't even wait for me to press a key. It should hit a breakpoint immediately. What stupid thing am I missing? Unity, stop it. Unity update not call. Yeah. Ugh. Dude, that guy's terrible. So this basic advice doesn't apply. Did I just... No, that's update. I spelled it right. Yeah, let me check that. Is the component enabled? That's the kind of thing I might miss. Oh. Oh, I also have something where I delete the editor when you hit play. Okay. That's also a thing. Okay. So as a precaution, I have some code that deletes the editor game object. I understand why. I understand why. It's because of this distinction between code that should run in the player, but the player within the editor, as opposed to the player that's fully built. So let me just move this to main. I think I'll be happy enough with that. This one is set. It's got editor only. And at the beginning of when I play, I just delete everything that says editor only. Whether that's a good or a bad idea, I don't know quite yet. But I'm guessing that that's all I need to do to get this running. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Dumb little thing. Okay, there you go. This is not hard. This is not hard. I don't like to spend a lot of time on things that shouldn't be hard. Record something. Record something. Stop. Record something else. I don't need this. I can go away. Don't need that. Get that path again if I can find it. Oop. There it is. Oh, come on. Go. Record something else. Fine. Fine. Okay. That's all good. Now, I want to finish this with some kind of, not under the hood stuff, but like a real sense of progress. So let me just update this a little bit more. I want this to be rid of this. So the file name format going to be scene name, character name, word 1, word 2, word 3. Okay. I feel like I should probably move this over here, but I'm going to leave it for the moment. So what I found is that naming files by their first 3 words is really it's a really simple system that is easy to maintain. You can name them after numbers or other things, and you just can't really see like which one is which. It's a nice little system. Okay, private. It's not perfect though, because every once in a while a character will say the first words of a sentence multiple times in one scene. But I can like do little things in the text of the lines to kind of differentiate. Suppose I should use string builder, but this is just some editor code. It'll compile out. No need to make it that performant. Cat. Would like to remove any characters that are non-alpha though. So let's do that should do it. That should do it. Alright, so then the file name will get set to active scene name, character name. I think I'll be consistent and go to lower. And the first 3 words of the line, or 1 or 2 if there's only 1 or 2. Yeah. So let's do that. And then I'm gonna move this over here. Just get it all together. Okay, so I kind of like this class as the home for what I'm doing here. So do public call it say string character name. Start a characters, the ones I know about. In order of speech, God, M, and I'll add more as I have them. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not how I want to do it. Let's see. Public string name. Yeah, let's do it this way. Public subtitle color. Oh God, I must be getting tired. I'm just about done with this feature. That's probably good right there to start with. Then let's have public class characters. Character. Character. God. Do, let's see, how can I specify it? That's fine. You know, it might be nice to use something easier than that. Got hex. Nope, that's all you got. Okay, RGB, that's pretty good. RGBA. So we'll go bright white for God's text. Him being God after all. And M. She's gonna be red, but pretty, oh, maybe more pink, I guess. 200. I should do it. Let's see. So I can do like that. No. Oh, that goes away on its own. It's just a little build thing. Okay, let's call this characters. Say I can pass in a character and then the line. Okay. So here I can set the file name for the dialogue recorder. Although this is definitely editor only. Really? You are in where? Godkiller Editor. And Oh, I gotta also do using God Killer Editor. Set file name for line. Say character name. That's that. Then I show the subtitle. So, subtitle pane. Set line. That's going to be the line. It's going to be character subtitle color. So then what should happen is I can go back to my main object. I can add in that temporary code I had that shows a couple of subtitles. To delete. I think I almost got this. So let's say, I'll write some quick code that shows some subtitles. Scene, dialogue. Say character God, characters God. Oh, so that's got to be public. What? That. Characters, come on. Oh, come on. What? Public class characters. Static, that's what it was. So let's do static class. Okay. Oh, I'm getting tired. There. Let me actually take some real dialogue just to make me kind of happy. Okay. It's kind of expensive because I keep on calling say over and over again. So let's say if time let's say this be it's divided by 3%, 2. No, this is not actual dialogue. What? Okay. Let's see. Is it gonna do a whole bunch of things I wanted it to do? Compile for me, please. Yeah, there was a lot of new code there. Let me set a breakpoint quickly before it calls it. Before, come on. I want to see this, because that has a good chance of being wrong. Okay. To get first three words. Line is what? Words. What? It's length. Oh. Nice. Okay, this seems like it's gonna work. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Okay, so let's see. It's not saying the color right. But anyways, that was one thing I was testing. So here's the other thing. If I record a line, hello, happy birthday. Now it's on what? If I record what? What? Okay. So I want to see, did you record? Hold on. I don't, okay, I think when I hit the space bar, it didn't give the right menu, maybe. Hello, happy birthday. No, it didn't record. Okay, there's something with this reference script unknown on this behavior is missing. So let's look at this. Oh, because I moved it. I moved the fucking script, that's why. I had to put it in the right directory, according to me. That would have been it. Okay, also, what about the color? Why am I not getting some different color? I expect to see some different color, and I'm not seeing it. So what up with that? 'Cause I had it working. I certainly did. Subtile color here. Let me set this down more dramatically, just in case it's missing it. Scene dialogue. That part's fine. This, I've got M being passed here, so that's fine. Okay. There's a bug there where it's running the level decoration beginning where it shouldn't. I will definitely have to fix that at some point because it removes all my decorations. Okay. What? Hello, happy birthday. Welcome to my world. Okay. I suspect that worked. What? Hello, happy birthday. Welcome to my world. Alright. That shit worked. That was the vision. That was the vision. I wanted to make a feature where right after a subtitle played was shown, if I chose to record, it would record an audio file that was associated with that subtitle. So now all I have to do in my code that shows these subtitles is write a little bit of stuff here. I've got like a level controller that says that the certain text is going to be set at certain times. The subtitle is going to show. And then if I want to just add some quick placeholder audio that's associated with that subtitle, right after I see it on the screen, I hit the space bar, record it, and it'll have that set there. The next step, what I'm not going to do tonight, would be to have it when the save thing is called is if an audio file, one of those placeholder wave files, is present, to not only show the subtitle for it, but to play the audio. And that should help me iterate pretty friggin' fast and play around with this text pretty fast. Yeah. Okay, well, that is a session. I did what I said I would. I coded a system of sorts. This one I might call a system. It's definitely the start of a system. The thing I made yesterday was not a system, it was just a feature. Gotta know the difference, where things get crazy. Alright, stopping the stream. Thanks for joining me if you did, or listening if you did, or watching if you did. Feel free to join me later. Bye.